Wait, right here. I'll be right back. We're gonna have a little impromptu YouTube art show because I have been meaning to show off more of my paintings, and now seems like just as good a time as ever. This one is kind of an abstract landscape that took on some wild colors after starting out as an ocean wave. This one is kind of a glitter bomb meteor slamming towards the earth. I love all the gold glitter in this one, and the really just, maroons, turquoise, blue, all sorts of crazy wild colors in this one. And it turned out really fun, and in the sun, boy, it shines. Now this next one I'm going to show you is one of my favorites. It looks like flowing lava. It's one of the oldest paintings that I have. I painted it probably about 3 years ago at this point, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of this painting. And it just makes me so incredibly happy. You can see by the way I want to smush my face up against it. This one is just filled with deep dark reds and maroons and purples and grays and whites, and I don't know what I did to end up with this just fun scheme, but boy, it is again one of my faves. Now let's take a peek into my actual art studio here in Austin, Texas. My name is Amelia Rose Earhart, and I am an aerial abstract artist, and I'm a pilot. I'm an around the world pilot, so I've taken a lot of pictures from the sky. And a couple of years ago, I started painting those images and trying to take an abstract take on what those aerial views look like. That's expanded into playing with color in all sorts of forms, right? When I have a canvas and I get a color palette that I just have to try, I will dive right in, even if it's something that I never actually share with the world or show off to you all. But hey, that's what art is all about. Here's a peek at some of the details in my art studio, some of my magnetic style poetry there that I've chopped up out of old science textbooks. I tried oil painting recently. That turned out to be a total bust. And then I went right back to fluid art. This one has a total 1960s vibe. And I love the color palette on this with those bright oranges and browns and greens and blues. This here is a time lapse that my buddy Chad Andrews and I worked on just today, in fact. That's what inspired me to make this vlog, because it was so fun to watch this come together. Chad is an airline pilot, and he's a good buddy of mine who has helped me so much with helping me push forward to self-publish my first book, Learn to Love the Turbulence, which I just put out recently. And so I got this crazy idea. I thought, let's do an abstract take on the book cover, a very abstract take. And I kind of like how it turned out. Dark silvers, grays, blacks, that bright, bright yellow, and that cerulean blue. And we'll see how it dries tomorrow when I can get it up against a fresh white wall to see how it actually looks. But I tell you what, art is a huge part of my life, and showing off this art studio is something I've wanted to do for quite a while because it's brought so much life back into my world. Moving here to Austin, Texas after living in Denver, Colorado for so many years and kind of starting fresh in a new city. I live in a high-rise condo and I can see the entire city from my living room, and the reason I chose this place, and I feel so fortunate to live here, is because I love watching the clouds go by. I love watching the progression of the weather and the way light changes in this space. It brings out so many ideas in me. I go and sit out on the balcony almost every night and just let the breeze flow through my hair. And often when I get back in the studio, you'll see me just covered in paint. That's kind of my vibe. I've always got paint somewhere on my clothes. And these time-lapse videos show you a little bit more about the process of how many different forms a piece of art like this can take. You really can't do it wrong. This one started out as a wave, and it ended up in that pretty mountain landscape because I just kept adding color to it, tilting it around, letting it drag across, and you kind of know when it's done. You get a feeling. And then that feeling when you get to display your own artwork in your own space and sit and watch it from afar, it just brings color to my world. These images as I wrap up here are some from the Wonder Spaces event here in Austin, one of the first art exhibits that I went to, and I thought it was a good way to wrap things up because it just shows how colorful life can be when you decide to just splatter paint all over it. Thanks for watching.